We're going live. I think we're live on one. We're live on the other. Welcome, everybody. We're live again, ready to roll for a movement, mobility, and core day. See, we got our mats out. I'm getting tired of being on the itchy turf. So instead, I brought my ab mat out here today. If you've got an ab mat or a towel, we suggest you bring it out because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on the ground, a lot of stuff coming up, working through that mobility and some core work. So the first half of class today is going to be focused mainly on mobility. We're going to add a couple new wrinkles into it, but we're going to stick with the same format. It's kind of working with one joint, add that mobility, starting a little bit more on the ground, and then coming up and kind of staying in place, and then finishing each movement with moving around, or each mobility exercise with moving around. And once we gain that new range of motion, we want to make sure our body understands how to use that new range of motion. So we're always going to move through each one of these mobility exercises, starting a little static, and then getting a little bit more movement, more dynamic. So let's kick things off today by getting down on our mat and working on our hip flexors, starting off there. So we'll start off in that half kneeling position. Put that lead foot a little bit more forward because we're working on that hip flexor and we're trying to just kind of rock and extend that hip flexor. Let's go 4 on each side today as we go through rocking that hip flexor. I'm taking my left hip flexor, that means left hand. We're going to add that high reach to it. So each time I rock forward, I just add that high reach. That high reach is encouraging me to lengthen everything on that same side. Here's number 4. And then I switch it up. Got my other leg forward. I'm going out to my right hip flexor. That means I'm reaching high with that right hand and add a little bit of extension through that right hip flexor. There's number 4. From here, we'll rotate back around, and we're going to add a little bit of wrinkle to it today. I'm going to a little half lunge position. Now, this is going to be tough because we're going to have you guys stand up as you rock through here. So as I rock and extend this hip flexor, I'm going to take that left hand, and I'm going to reach up tall. So a little bit of challenge on that front leg, but you notice I'm just rocking enough to get some length, really trying to keep that back leg straight, not bending that knee, and definitely not leaning backwards. I'm gaining that extra stretch through that high reach. From here, I'll pivot it around. I've got a little half lunge in the other position. Going after this hip flexor, that means this hand, big high reach, big high reach. We're getting 4 of them, rocking in and extending. And then from there, we go to a back lunge, high reach. So I'm now going to move a whole lot, back lunge with my left leg, reaching high with my left hand. So 4 on each side. Back lunge, high reach, come back home. Back lunge, high reach, extending that whole side. Trying to keep that back leg as straight as possible as I extend through that hip. Flip sides now. Go back lunge with the other leg. Whatever leg you're lunging with, that's the hand you're reaching with. So when I back lunge with my right leg, it's my right hand I'm reaching with each time. All right, that's the first series of that hip flexor. We did everything just reaching straight up. We're going to go that same series again, but now all of our reaches are going to be straight over the top, getting a little bit of lean. So let's go back down. Now I got my right leg forward, my left leg back, so I'm going after that left hip flexor, which means left hand is going to go over the top of each reach. Change the angle up here for you. As I rock in, I'm reaching over the top, giving me a little different stretch through that hip flexor. There's 4 on that side. I'll switch legs. Take my right leg is down. That means I'm going after the right hip flexor, and the right hand is reaching. Whatever leg is down, whatever hip flexor we're stretching, that's the side we're going to reach with. From here, let's get to that upright lunge stance. Same thing, getting that extension already. I already kind of feel a pre-stretch. I'm taking that left hand, and now I'm reaching up over the top. 4 of these on each side. There's 3. And then there's 4. And then we'll flip it back around. Hit that other side, reach over the top. Start to feel the ribs kind of open up. You're getting a different stretch, kind of that core. It's hip flexor. It's all this whole chain. Everything's all connected. And then we'll go to those back lunges. So I'm going to face you for these so you can see that back lunge over the top reach. Whatever leg I'm lunging with, that's the hand that's going straight up over the top. Big reach. And here's number 4, big reach. Let's switch sides now. Big reach over the top. Big reach over the top, really opening up those ribs. Starting to feel that mobility. Getting everything going this way. All right, that's round 2 of our hip flexor series. We've done a high reach. We've done an over the top reach. Now we're going to go with a rotation reach. But same thing, whatever hip we're stretching with, that's the one we're going to reach with. So, back down the ground. Right leg forward means I got my left hip back. That's the hip I'm going with. I'm going to take that left hand and reach across with each rock. So every time I reach forward, I'm reaching across, adding one more little element to that hip stretch. There's 4 on that side. I'm going to switch it up now. Got the other foot forward. Right leg is down. I'm going to right hand, my reach hand. Reach and rotate. Reach and rotate. 3. And then last one, number 4. Working on that stability stance now. We're back in that little half lunge position. Hold that leg. Now I'm going to reach and rock a little bit. So a little bit more stability required, a little bit more balance. Add just another little element to that hip flexor stretch. From 4, and then I flip around the other side. Rock and reach. Okay. Same side hand. 2, number 3, the last one, number 4. And then the back lunge is going to look the same way. As I back lunge with my left leg, reaching across with that left hand. Back lunge, reach. Back lunge, reach. Keep that back leg straight as you lunge. Really try to extend that leg. There's number 4. And then reach across with the other side. 2, reach, rotate, 3, and then reach, and rotate 4. So as you can see, we're focusing mainly on the hip flexors, but with all those different reaches, we're starting to open up that T-spine and get that whole chain connected. A great hip flexor series. Let's move to the backside now. Let's go to the hamstrings. We're going to do the same concept on the hamstrings. We're going to start off on the ground, then we're going to come up and kind of be stationary, and then we're going to move a little bit. So 3 levels to this hamstring stretch. So let's go down to the ground into that half kneeling position again. This time, instead of having my lead leg way out to start, I'm actually going to have it probably medium, because now I'm going after this hamstring with a rock back. So as I rock back, I'm trying to extend this hamstring. If you need to scoot it out a little bit more, give yourself a little bit bigger starting one. We're not rocking forward. Shouldn't feel a big stretch on that hip flexor. Should all be on that hamstring. So let's get 4 rock backs. Hands are going straight down by each side. Rock back, straighten out that leg. Rock back, straighten out that leg. Keep those hands just squared up, one on the inside, one on the outside. So I'm like rock back, getting that big stretch through that hamstring. 3, last one here. There's number 4. So there's our ground-based one. We're going to come up, and we're going to go into that. I'll face this way. You guys see that hamstring that I'm stretching. We're going to get into that lunge stance again. Doesn't have to be as big as the other one, because now we're going after this hamstring. So now I'm going to rock back and reach down. Keeping both my hands, one on the inside, one on the outside. If you can't reach all the way to the ground, reach as far as you can as you rock those hips back. Try to straighten out that front leg. 4 on that side. We'll flip it around. Big split stance here. Rock back. Straighten out that leg. Rock back. There's number 3. And here's the last one, number 4. And just like on our hip flexor, we're going to finish this off with a little movement series. So we're going to do a back step. And the reason why we like that back step, it's going to encourage us to push everything backwards. So I'm going to back step. Reach down and touch that foot that's not moving. Hands go right on each side of that foot. Nothing crazy with my hand reaches. Just back step. Moving a little bit more. Making that hamstring do a little bit of deceleration. Back step, toe touch. Back step, toe touch. Going back to 4 of them. Reaching down and getting that hamstring. All right, great first series for the hamstrings. We're going to go to another series. Just like on the hip flexors, we had changed up our reaches. This time we're going to take every reach and we're going to go to the inside. So with the lead foot that we're stretching, the lead hamstring, all your hands are going to go toward that instep. So we start off in that half kneeling position. My hands are going to go toward the inside of my foot. I'm going to have to rotate my upper body a little bit. Rock back, hands reach to the inside. Rock back, inside reach. There we go. 4 on each side. One more. Rock back, hands go to the inside. All right, we'll switch legs. Got that other leg forward. My hands are going toward the inside. A little bit of different hamstring stretch. Rock back. Stretch that hammy. Rock back. And stretch that hammy. Great work there. You've seen the side view of what those stationary ones. So we're in that split stance stationary one. So stay stationary here. Now I'm going to take my reach. I'm not moving my feet, but I'm just going to rock my hips back and reach to the inside of my foot to get that hamstring. So rocking my hips back, straight down my lead leg, reaching down toward the inside. We'll switch up legs, give you a little side angle here. Rock those hips back, straighten out that lead leg. Reach those hands down to the inside. There's 3. We got one more here for number 4. And with our movement series, as we go through those back steps, I'm going to reach toward the inside here. So I'll show you what it looks like. Move it here a little bit. Each back step makes my hips go backwards. So back step, reach toward the inside of that leg that's not moving. You want to reach for the foot that doesn't move, because that's the one we're trying to stretch here. The step is making our hips drive backwards, and that's giving us a little bit extra encouragement to really lengthen those hamstrings. Reach those hands to the inside. Here's the last one. Got it. All right, we've done front reach, we've done inside reach. That means we're going with the outside reach. So back down to that half kneeling position. Going after the straight to that hamstring. I'm now going to take my hands and I'm going to reach toward the outside of my leg with each one. Reaching across my leg, add a little bit of rotation through that hamstring stretch. Got 4 on that side. We'll switch it up now. I'm going to reach to the outside and rotate. Reach across that knee. Here's number 3. And then the last one, number 4. Great series there. Pop it on up. Let's get to that split stance. We're rocking back as we reach down. Reach those hands toward the outside of that foot. So as I rock back, I'm reaching out to the outside. Rotate over that front leg. Rock those hips back. 4 on each side. There's number 3. Here I go to number 4. And then we're going to switch it up. Put the other leg forward. Same series here. Rock back, reach. Rock back, reach. There we go. There's number 3. And here comes number 4. So that was our static series. We'll finish it up with the movement series. Back steps, reaching toward the outside of the non-moving leg. So I'm going to step back with my left, but I'm reaching down toward that right foot. Always reaching toward that non-moving leg. Letting that step push us backwards and give us a little extra stretch. Then we'll switch, and we'll finish out the hamstrings on the other side. Back step, rotation reach. There's number 3. And then here's number 4. That's a great lower body series. Adding in those hip flexors, hamstrings, getting the reaches. Great job with the lower body. Let's take it to the upper half now. Let's start to kind of focus more on that T-spine. We already are getting some great back stretches with all the different reaches we're doing, but let's focus a little bit more specifically just on that. But as you'll see, we'll start to feel stuff through the lower half as we move through all these stretches as well. So we're going to start off in that 4-point stance. So hands and knees. I'll turn you a little sideways here so we can see. Let's do those rock and reaches. So I'm going to rock my hips back. And just by rocking my hips back, I'm already getting a little stretch here. But now I want to encourage that a little bit more by taking a big double arm reach. So I'm going to reach palms down. So palms are always facing down. Rock back, reach long, come on up out of it. Rock those hips back, reach long. Number 2, come back home, rock back, reach long. Number 3. See if you can sit your hips back on your heels and reaching so long you feel like your forehead's going to go all the way down the ground. And then there's number 4. From here, we're going to get a little bit more dynamic. We're going to come up to a push-up position. And in that push-up position, we're going to add in some different reaches. So if the push-up position is tough for you, you can go straight to just that quad, and you can just get that quad reach in that on all 4. But if you can, let's go to that push-up position. Let's go 4 reaches each arm, just reaching long up by your ear. You're going to feel some mobility in the reach arm, and you're going to have some stability in the non-reach arm. So push-up position, reach long, reach long. Start to focus on where your core is at. Is your core nice and still? You activating that midsection. We got core coming up the second half of class. There's 3 and 3, and the last one 4 and 4. And that's when you got to just get on your own. It's going to be hard to follow along. But this is kind of priming us up for that core as we start to work through some core stabilization. And then the last one we're going to get, we're just going to sit here nice and tall on both half or a full kneeling position. And then let's work a big tall reach with each arm, a big tall reach. Let's actually start to move here a little bit by adding in some big tall reaches. And we're going to do these in a half kneeling, so we're going to not really work the lower body as much. But you can see with each one of these, I'm letting my hips move a little bit, but because I'm doing the kneeling position, I'm really just focusing on that upper back. All right, that's the first series for that T-spine. Let's go into our second series here with the long reaches. Now we're going to reach and rotate, but we're not going to rotate under. You're just going to reach up and across, reach up and across. So we'll square you up. I'll show you a couple, then I'll let you go. So we're doing those same rocks, but now I'm just going to reach to the outside of my mat, come back home. Now I'm going to reach to the outside with the other one. Let's do 4 each side here. Let's go ahead and get 8. There's number 2 and number 2. Here comes number 3 on the right. Number 3 on the left. Every time I'm rocking my hips back, I'm taking my hands and reaching them to the outside. Still reach long, just reaching them to the outside. Kind of isolates one side more than the other, but you get that really great kind of start to lean and lengthen everything. From there, on our push-up ones, we're going to be in that push-up position. And I want you to take that reach, and I want you to do the same thing. I want you to reach, see if you can reach under. Reach kind of across your midline as you reach across. And see how that shoulder stabilizes and the movement at the other. So get that core ready. Let's go 4 each side. So I'm going to reach. These are tough. Reach. Reach across your body. There's 3, 4. We're doing 8 total. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are challenging because that's not only challenging my shoulder stabilization, but really get that core primed up. And let's do some over-the-top reaches here. So with my hands, I want to reach over the top, over the top. I'm in that kneeling position, up tall. Get some good stretch to that midsection. Same movement pattern we were doing when we were doing those hip flexor stretches. But because we're kneeling, kind of taking the hips out and really able to get some more range of motion through that upper back. 4 on each side there. The last series we're going to do for the upper back for the T-spine, we're going to do that full rotation. So these are going to be those single arm ones. You can try a double arm if you want to. And I'll show you that variation real quick. So if you want to do double arm, as you rock back, take both hands and just rotate. So you're going to rotate both hands, or you can keep one hand stationary and just reach under with each one. Let's get 4 each side. Either double arm reaches if you want to try that new variation, or single arm reaches. But rock those hips back every time as you reach those hands up underneath. So double arm reach, one side, back to the center. Double arm reach on the other. I got one more each side. There's number 4 on the right. And here comes the number 4 on the left. And because we've already kind of reached across in our push-up position, let's reach all the way up to the top. Let's take those hands and in that push-up position, I really want you to reach up. Again, you need to be on all fours, but if you can get in a push-up position, let's try these in a push-up position. So push-up position, reaching tall, 4 each side, reach up, open up that upper back, open up that T-spine. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, big number 8. And from that half kneeling position, we've done some reaches here already. Let's reach back. Let's get that reach back, open up that T-spine. That half kneeling or that full kneeling position we're in, really going to limit what our hips are going to help us doing. So we're really going to have to open up with that T-spine. Reach high and up. Here's the last one on the right, and then the last one on the left. All right, crew, that's a pretty good mobility series to get us going this morning. We hit hip flexors, we hit hamstrings, we hit the T-spine. In that last series, being in that push-up position, got our core going a little bit more, so we definitely got some great work going in there. It's now time to transition to the core block, where we're going to focus a little bit more on core, adding some new wrinkles to this one as well. We're going to start off with like a stability exercise, and then we're going to add a movement exercise into it. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to be in our plank position. And on this plank position, the variation we're going to do today is we're going to go to some leg movements. So in that plank position, we're holding an elbow plank, and then you're going to pick a leg up, and you're going to move leg out to the side, and then back in. So what it will look like, we'll be under that plank, and I'm going to take a leg out to the side, back in. Out to the side, back in. I'm just moving it laterally while I'm trying to keep my pelvis nice and still. We're going to put this one on the timer. So let me grab the clock real quick. Boom, I'm back. You're back. You're ready to go. Let's go 30 seconds of a plank, and then you're just taking that leg and moving it lateral. Keep those hips level. Don't let those hips rise every time you take that leg out to the side. Are we ready? Here we go. Plank with a leg lift. Starting up in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Hold that plank. You take your own pace. Keep those hips level each time as we're going through that leg lift. Plank, leg lift. If the leg lifts get tough, just give me a 30-second plank. Keep holding it. This one's for time. You got to lock that core in for 30 seconds. Reaching with those legs. Almost there. Great job. Real quick, let's transition to the next one. This is straight leg, straight arm sit-up. So legs are out straight, arms are pointing straight up toward the sky. Let's do a full sit-up when we reach nice and tall at the top, and then control it right back down. Ready? Here we go. 30 seconds. Straight leg, straight arm sit-ups. Try to drive with those arms. Really pull from your abdominal and not swinging those arms. Keep those arms nice and steady, and they're always reaching toward the highest point. So we work some stability. Now we're working a little strength, driving up, sitting nice and tall, trying to keep those legs straight and keep those arms straight. All right back down to the plank. We're going 2 exercises back to back to back to back. So let's go back to that plank. Same leg movements, same great work. Another 30 seconds. You guys getting ready? All right, here we go. Plank position, lock it in, add those leg movements. Keep that core tight. Every time my leg goes out to the side, I'm not raising my hips up. I'm gonna move so you guys can see me, but hopefully you're in a plank position and you can't watch me. And you're focused on your own plank. But trust me, my hips are staying level and my core is staying tight as I reach each time with that leg out to the side. All right, back to those sit-ups. Let's whip back around. Straight legs if you can. Straight arms always pointing up toward the highest point. Working that good flexion. And you drive those arms up toward the ceiling. And here we go. Reach tall, control it back. Reach tall. Nice work, guys. Doesn't have to be fast. Time under tension on these abs, it's just fine. You don't feel like you gotta rush through the ab work. Just keep getting those straight arm, straight leg sit-ups. Drive with those abs nice and high, and then control them back in. Body. Round 3 on the plank. No changes here. You keep working that great solid plank position. Hips stay level as your legs move side to side. Again, if the leg movement gets you, just give me a plank for 30 seconds. I know you can do that for me. All right, here we go. Plank, leg lift. Taking it out to the side. Keeping those hips level. Don't let them come up when my leg comes up. Hold that plank. Add those leg lifts in if you can. But we're working on good plank stabilization. 10 more seconds, guys. Almost there. And time. You know where we're going? We're going back to those abs. Round 3 here. Straight leg, straight arm. Doesn't need to be fast. Just give me some good reach. Drive with that core. Reach them straight up. Here we go. 30 seconds of good, solid, smooth, fluid, straight arm, straight leg sit-ups. Shouldn't feel like you're jerking up. Shouldn't be swinging and then flopping back down. Control yourself on the way up. Control yourself on the way down. Halfway there, guys. 10 more seconds. Keep driving those abs up. Slower is actually harder because you don't have that momentum. You really got to use those ab muscles. All right, that's 3 rounds. Let's go one more. Let's have another round in here. Back-to-back exercises. You got this, guys. Back to that plank. Are we ready? Plank with leg lift. 3, 2, 1. Remember, if you need to, just hold that plank. Keep those abs tight. You don't have to add that leg movement in. You just want to work on some core stabilization. Just lock in that core and hold it. Keep working, guys. Breathe. Make sure you're breathing. You're using those internal stabilization muscles. You're not tightening up everything and making everything nice and super tight. You can't even breathe. You got to be able to breathe. You still want that? You want those deep stabilization muscles. You still want to be able to use the outside superficial muscles while you're using the deep stabilizers. All right, last sit-up ones here. We ready? Here we go. These are the outside muscles. These are the ones that are going to be on the top layer. Well, mine about the second layer. There's another layer on top. We're not going to talk about that. What are you laughing? Don't you make it halfway? Sit up and reach. Sit up and reach. Leg straight, arm straight. Almost there. And there's time. Let's take a quick little pause. Reset. Stop the clock. Reset the clock. That's block 1. Block 2, I'm going to turn my mat sideways because we're going to be in the side view for this one. Block 2, what we've got going on here is we're going to do a lateral plank, but this time in the lateral plank, if you can, we're going to move the top leg. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is see if you can draw that knee in and then back out. If that's tough, so I'm in a lateral plank, and I'm taking that top leg, and I'm pulling that knee in, and then right back. Every time I pull that knee in, it makes this leg really have to focus in. If that's tough, just keep that leg down and work on that lateral plank. We're going to do all 30 seconds on one side. We're going to do 4 rounds. So it'll be 2 sets on one side, 2 sets on the other. And then from there, we're going to go to a little straight leg raise. So we're going to work the little lower abs, staying right here on the mat. Are we ready for round 2? It's starting up here in 10 seconds. So pick a side on this lateral plank. Stay on this side plank the whole time, and then try to work that knee flexion. So I'm holding it, and I'm picking that lead leg up and right back down. Driving that lead knee up. Work that stabilization. Drive that knee up. Every time you pick this knee up, don't let that hip drop. Try to keep those hips up. As you pull that in, it's 30 seconds on this whole side. You're going to start to feel it burn. It's going all the way down through my hip, my glute. I'm getting everything along that lateral side working, which is why we did all that mobility to make sure now we have the stability. Great work there. That's a fun little series on that lateral plank. From here, straight leg raises. Focus on, if you want to put your hands up underneath your hips, that's fine. But focus on trying to keep your low back flat on the mat the whole time. Don't let that back arch as your legs go down. So every time my legs lower, I almost touch the ground. Try to keep that low back from arching up off the mat. You want to keep constant pressure of your low back on that ground the whole time. Make those abs lock in your pelvis and really stabilize that pelvis as you lower those legs. Keep it locked in the whole time. Nice, smooth, straight leg raises. Focusing on that core. Awesome job. I'm going to go to the other side now. We're back. These are 2 in a row. It's back to back to back to back. So I'm on my other side plank. Same thing. I'm going to take that top leg and I'm going to draw it in and then extend it back out as I go through. Make sure that elbow's right up underneath your shoulder, that you don't feel like you're sliding. Draw that leg in, back out. Ooh, this side's a whole lot tougher. I got to reposition myself. Here we go. Bring that knee up, back down. Bring that knee up and back down. Keep that core tight. Don't let that hip drop. Every time you bring that knee in, bring that leg up, back down. If you just need to hold them, just work on holding that side plank. Don't worry about adding that leg movement in there. Just like on our regular planks. You can just hold it and not worry about the leg movement. Either way, you're getting some great work. Leg lifts. What are the keys? Keys are keeping that low back flat on the mat. So when those legs are up, you should feel your low back, full pressure on the mat there. And then as you lower those legs, keep that low back. If you find a point where your low back arches off, that's as far as you need to go. You don't need to lower them all the way down to the ground. Keep that low back in the whole time. So that just means you have a little bit of partial range of motion, or you can go full range of motion. You go whatever you can, focusing on keeping that low back flat on the ground. Every time you lower those legs, no air up underneath my back. Just staying locked in. We're already on round 3. We're back to those lateral planks. Challenge 1, instead of driving that knee up, you can take that leg and just raise it lateral. So I'll show you that variation here if you need a little extra challenge. Lock into that lateral plank, pick that leg up, bring it right back down. You can bring that knee up, or you can just laterally raise the leg. Or you can just hold the plank for the whole time and just work on that lateral line stabilization. And if you want to add, but you notice, every time I do a leg movement, this still stays solid. It's not moving up and down the whole time. I'm able to move this leg and keep my pelvis nice and rigid and solid. Back to the leg raises. Let's go. Another variation that can help you on these is shorten your lever. Take your knees and bend it a little bit. And then you can just tap those heels and come back. Tap the heels and come back. As long as you're keeping that low back flat, pushed up against it. One of the feedback mechanisms we used to do from rehab, we would take a blood pressure cuff and put it up underneath someone's low back, and they had to maintain a set pressure the whole time. And we would do that when we were doing some core rehab, when we were doing some sort of hip flexor rehab. Really just trying to work on that pelvis stabilization, and that as you start to move your legs, that pelvis isn't rotating all over the place, but you have the abs keeping it tight. All right, enough coach talk, rehab talk. Let's go into our last set of these lateral planks. Again, you've got 2 options here. You can raise that leg up. You can raise that knee in. We're trying to keep that core nice and tight no matter what leg movement you add in. You're keeping that thing nice and tight, or you're just holding it. You would just hold that stabilization. Let's work on a little bit of core stability from the lateral line here versus that plank position we were just in. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. There's the timer. And now we got our last set of those leg raises. I've showed you a couple different variations. I think you know the key points on this. So use a variation that you want to keep that low back locked into the mat and not letting that pelvis come up and down and not let those ribs flare out as you drop down. Sometimes putting those hands up underneath your hips gives you a little bit of extra stability, kind of helps keep those hips from rolling. But you don't have to have them there. You can have those hands wherever you need to have them to keep that core locked in and not letting that pelvis come up off the ground. Sometimes we put a piece of paper underneath there. If their low back arched up off the ground, that piece of paper can slide out. All right, that's 2 rounds of core down. We got 1 more round to go. Let's pause the clock here because this is going to be a fun new one. We're going to do a little bird dogs. So bird dogs mean we're in that 4-point position. And the patterning is my right arm and my left leg. And in that bird dog position, I'm trying to extend both while keeping this level and not arching and dropping. Challenge will be, can you do that in a push-up position? So if you go to the push-up position, bird dogs, your feet are going to have to be wider and your hands probably narrower, because as I reach, same thing. I don't want to reach and have everything move. I want to be able to lift but still keep everything nice and solid. So we're going to go through some bird dog patterning. I suggest you stay on the same side the whole time. So do right arm and left leg for the first round, and then we'll flip-flop every round. And then the other one's a brand new exercise called dead bug, which is kind of fun. It's the opposite pattern. So we're just upside down in that 4-point pattern. But the same idea. I'm going to move my left leg and my right arm at the same time. So I'm reaching opposites. And that reach is, again, just like those straight leg raises. Can I keep my pelvis flat on the ground? I don't want my back to arch. I want my low back to stay smashed into the mat because I'm keeping my abs tight and they're controlling what my pelvis is doing. I'm not letting my leg extension roll my hips forward, arch my low back, and lose all that stabilization. So on these dead bugs, it's opposite patterns. Sometimes it helps if you actually touch the ones that aren't moving. But again, what we'll do on these is we'll do all one side for a whole round and all the other. I know that sounds confusing, but I know you can follow along because we're starting out here in 10 seconds. All right, push-up position, bird dogs, or 4-point bird dogs. Either way, don't move that core. So it's right hand, left leg, right hand, left leg. Ready? Extend, bring it back in. It's opposite, so whatever arm you're reaching with, the opposite leg is extending. Keep that core tight. Work on that extension. Don't let that low back arch. Your hips are staying level, and they're not rounding and dropping with each movement. You're just extending and keeping that core stable. Quickly flipping around, and now we're in an upside down. Same thing, right hand, left leg. If you need to, put your left hand on your right knee just to keep you from moving those two. But right arm, left leg, you can do it. You've got the patterning. But again, what are we looking for here? We're looking to keep that low back on the mat the whole time. So as I extend my arm and I extend my leg, keeping my abs tight so that my back doesn't arch. Can I stretch my left leg and get that hip flexor pulling on my pelvis? And can my abs overcome my hip flexor and keep my pelvis steady? Oh, that's tough. These are ones we definitely like to do in person. But you guys can follow along. I know you, I trust you. You guys can do this. Let's go the other side now. Left hand, right leg. Left hand, right leg. We're moving on these bird dogs. Ready? Extend. Bring it back. I'll show you around 3 or 4 what the push-up variation looks like. It is really super hard. You've really got to lock that core in. So I'm just going to do these first 2 rounds in my quad base, in my hands and knees. So I know I've got that stability. I'm keeping my hips level, side to side, and I'm not letting them arch or round. So each time I extend, it's just going through that joint and not so much going through my low back. All right. We're back to the dead bugs. It's right leg, left hand. Right leg, left hand. You guys got it? Right leg, left hand. Follow with me. Here we go. Right leg, left hand. It should be opposite. It's not the same side. Reach, keep that low back. So as you're reaching, keep that low back on the mat the whole time. Extend and reach. Straighten everything out. Abs stay tight. Pelvis stays neutral. There's no movement. You guys got it? Almost there. And time. Nice work. All right, let's flip it around. Go back to that push-up or that bird dog position. I'm going to show you push-up position if I can. I'm going back to right hand, left leg. Right hand, left leg. Feet have to be wider. Feet a little narrower. Reaching, coming back home. Right hand, left leg. I'm just picking that left leg up off the ground just a little bit as I reach with that right hand. Reach, right hand, left leg. Hold that push-up position tight the whole time. Almost there. Oh, not quite. 5 more seconds. Keep holding it. I can do it. Last one. Woo. That was tough. Back to that dead bug. We're on round 3 here. So we're doing right hand, left leg. Right arm is moving, left leg is moving. Back to our dead bugs. Here we go. Opposites now. Right hand, left leg. What's my low back doing? It's staying smashed into the mat the whole time. Especially as I lengthen that leg. That hip flexor is wanting to pull on my pelvis. That reach is wanting to rotate my ribs. My core muscles have to fight against both of those and keep everything tight. And keep my pelvis and my spine from moving. Awesome job, guys. Last set here on those bird dogs. I'm going to go back to 4 points because I want to make sure I'm getting quality versus just rushing through it. So I'm going to go 4 points, but you've seen what the push-ups look like. They were tough for me. I'm going to stick with left hand, right leg. Left hand, right leg. Keeping everything nice and still. Reach and extend, but my abs control everything. My core is controlling everything. I'm using my glutes to extend, not dropping my low back. You put a water bottle right there on my waistband, it would stay stationary. It would not tip over and spill because it's staying, that waistband of my shorts is staying nice and smooth and no movement. My last dead bugs. Left hand, right leg. Left arm is reaching. Right leg is reaching. I'm in that upside down position. Here we go. Left arm, right leg. Left arm, right leg. Focus on that low back. Focus on that core. Keep it tight the whole time. And reach. Bring it back in. Abs are staying tight. Reach. Bring it back in. Reach. Keep that abs tight. 2 more. Last one. Great little ab series, guys. Awesome job, everybody. We'll pause the clock here, maybe. That's it. That's our core series. So we started off with some great mobility of the hips, hamstrings, and T-spine, and then we used that great mobility to help us get that core. Lots of great core stabilization today. Glad you guys joined us. Got a little middle of the week mobility and core. We hope to see you back again. Remember, those strong workouts are posted up on our YouTube channel. Strong day 1, strong day 2. You mix and match them and get a great workout. We'll see you next time here at AIM.